Hello, and welcome to Voices Without Documents Stories of Resistance and Acceptance. I'm your host, Suleiman, and in this two-part discussion, we are exploring the bureaucratic and social challenges faced by undocumented migrants and how cities like Palermo are stepping up in resistance, solidarity, and actions. Let's begin this segment one, where I'm joined by Umar, Zoya, Hadia, and Haida to explore the broader context of Palermo as a sanctuary city, its diversity, the status of undocumented migrants, and how urban policies are reshaping migration narratives. Umar, you have lived in Palermo for some time now and have studied its urban evolution. Can you paint a picture of the city for us?
Thanks, Suleiman. Palermo is one of the most culturally rich cities in southern Europe. Over centuries, it has been a crossroad of Arabs, Normans, Spanish, and Italian influence. Today, despite its relatively low percentage of foreign born residents, just under 4%, those who live here come from more than 130 different countries. So, it is incredibly diverse. What makes Palermo unique is that its social inclusion doesn't always align with legal recognition. You might feel welcome on the streets, but the system still doesn't fully accept you if you are undocumented.
That's a powerful contradiction. Zoya, picking up from Umar, what does life look like for undocumented migrants in Palermo?
It's a difficult path. Without residence permits, migrants are excluded from basic rights healthcare, formal work, and housing access. Many are forced into informal labor, agriculture, domestic work, or street vending, where they are paid little and have no protection. It's a life of invisibility and precarity. The bureaucracy is dense and slow, and this traps people in long periods of waiting. This limbo can last for years, even for people seeking asylum or trying to regularize their stay. Many undocumented immigrants lacking legal residence permits are excluded from the formal labor market and are thus compelled to accept precarious, underpaid, and unregulated jobs. Sectors such as agriculture, construction, domestic work, and street vending often rely on this hidden labor force where undocumented migrants are vulnerable to abuse, wage theft, and unsafe working conditions. These are jobs that most native residents tend to avoid due to poor remuneration and harsh conditions. Employers exploit the legal invisibility of undocumented workers who are often afraid to report abuse due to fear of deportation or police harassment. This asymmetry of power perpetuates a cycle of dependency, exploitation, and marginalization. In Palermo, as in other parts of southern Italy, such exploitation has been further exacerbated by the slow pace of bureaucratic regularization processes and is limited to access to political protection for migrants without documentation. Thus, the slow pace of bureaucratic regularization status of these undocumented workers often leads to various problems for the undocumented immigrants, such as long hours of work along with dangerous and unhygienic conditions, little or no wages that are received after initial agreement of payment structured, relief from work without being given the due notice, and lastly, if an industrial accident occurs, the lack of official proof of employment renders it complicated and often impossible to have any health care refunded. Added to these injury, if an undocumented worker is apprehended by the authorities at workplace environment without any proper legal documents, he or she will most likely be deported without being able to claim his or her wages. As a result, during the course of writing an interview, our observation is brought to the fact that the reason why undocumented workers are unwilling to protest against bad conditions is the fear that they might be apprehended by the authorities for not possessing required documents, or for the fear that complaining against their employers would have negative consequences on their chances of employment again. The life of undocumented migrants has been put beautifully in the poem by Langston Hughes, Let America Be America Again. I am the poor white, fooled and pushed apart. I am the Negro bearing slavery's scars. I am the red man driven from the land. I am the immigrant clutching the hope I seek and finding only the same old stupid plan of dog eat dog, of mighty crush the weak.
Zoya, it's inspiring and a bit of a rebellion against the state. We will pause here and shift focus to the bureaucratic machinery itself, especially the role of Castura and how this structure can both help and hinder justice for migrants. Joining me for this discussion are Hadia and Haida. Together, we will explore what it means to be stuck in the system, how migrants navigate the Castura, the provincial police office responsible for immigration, paperwork, and why it's such a critical bottleneck. Hadia, let's start with you. What is the Castura and why is it such a source of frustration for so many migrants?
The Kastura is the first and often most important institution a migrant interacts with when trying to apply for asylum, renew a permit, or seek family reunification. But it's also deeply flawed. There are long wait times, often no translators, and very little digital access or transparency. Many applicants are sent home without answers or are required to return again and again. This creates a legal uncertainty, especially for vulnerable groups like asylum seekers, victims of trafficking, or undocumented minors. So, in this context of immigration, the primary operations of the Kastura involve registration of new arrivals, biometric data collection, fingerprinting, and photographs, issuing receipts or for pending documents, and conducting interviews when necessary. Once an individual submits a request for legal residency or asylum, the Kastura schedules appointments, verifies the documents, and forwards the application to the other relevant departments, such as territorial commissions in the case of asylum seekers. It has also the power to grant temporary residence while applications are being processed.
Hadia, it sounds like a bureaucracy that punishes vulnerability instead of protecting it. And now, Haida, having done a brief research with some of these groups directly, what are the long-term effects of these delays and denials?
The consequences are devastating. People lose jobs because they can't renew their permits. They become homeless when they can access housing without document. Some women are pushed back into exploitative situation just to survive. For asylum seeker, delay interviews or rejected application means years of waiting, often with trauma, insecurity, and fear of deportation looming. These aren't just paperwork delays, they're life-altering barriers. Shahram Khosravi faced the same fate as he explained in his book, Illegal Traveler. He told his reader that he was detained due to bureaucratic reason and was transferred from one prison to another. He further stated how he saw airlines transporting people with surplus mobility rights, where his mobility was restricted. So, vulnerable groups such as undocumented migrants, stateless individuals, and asylum seekers face unique challenges when engaging with the Kastura. In many cases, the lack of formal document from their home countries leads to rejection or extend delays in processing their status. For asylum seekers, the wait for resident permit often exposes them to homelessness, job insecurity, and social marginalization, as they must rely on limited reception center support. Moreover, there have been reported instances where inconstant application of immigration law and procedure errors lead to rejection or deportation others, particularly in regions with more rigid enforcement. This creates fear and mistrust between immigrant communities and immigration authorities.
Haida, are there reasons to believe that one day the situation for these undocumented immigrants will change?
Yes, despite the current unsurmountable bureaucratic bottleneck, I want to end with hope. I believe there is a way forward. We need more translators, more legal aid, and faster, fair procedures. Municipalities should be empowered to offer local ID cards, housing, and healthcare regardless of status. And migrants themselves must be included in decision making, not just as a beneficiaries, but as an agent of change.
Hello, I'm Hadia from MIDI, Migration Rights, and we are here, me and Haida, for this podcast we are doing regarding the situation of people coming from other parts of the world, usually without documents. And can you please tell me about your name and where are you from?
Okay, thank you very much for the question. My name is Bakari Cham. I'm from the Republic of the Gambia.
And how old are you? And when did you come to Italy?
I am 29 years old, close to 30 in June. And I came to Italy in 2015, in October 2015.
And did you come legally or without documents?
I came illegally. Yeah,
and can you, if you are okay with it, can you explain the situation? What motivated you to come here, and what were the circumstances you choose Italy as a place?
First of all, I will say what motivated me to come here is in search of greener pasture, in search of a good living condition. Like in a way to be able to upgrade my life from one level to another, based on the difficulties that I was facing in my country. And then I decided to see why not I make an attempt to see if I will able to reach Europe and to be able to upgrade my life. But my main aim was to come to study. That was my main aim, to come to study. Yes, I was having this ambition to come and further, to do attend a university here, to upgrade myself to a higher level.
So, were you able to enroll in a university or not?
Well, no, I was not able to enroll in any university because what happened is like the aim I was having or the dream I was having, my plans did not go according to my wishes. So when I came here, I encountered a very serious problem, which likely has delayed all my time for almost 6 years. So based on this,
it took you 6 years to reach Italy.
No. My journey lasted for 2 months to 3 months. Yeah, I mean the 6 years I mean is that. It's like my time was wasted almost 6 years in Italy here, 6 years, 8 months. Because when I entered Italy, I encountered this prison problem. So I was in prison for 6 years.
You were in prison for 6 years?
Yes.
And you were captured at sea? And how did you come? Did you come by boat?
Yeah, I came by boat. The same route that we use crossing the Sahara Desert, leaving the African continent, crossing the Sahara Desert, entering Libya, then crossing the Mediterranean Sea. I used the same route. When I came here, because there's a law passed, in Italy that every boat that enter here, they always attempt to arrest the captains. So I was part of the victims that were arrested in 2015 among our crew. So we were all 5 of us. So I was one of them from Gambia. I was from Gambia. Another from Senegal. Another one from Mali. Another one from Cameroon, and one from Liberia. So I spent 6 years, 8 months in prison here, which automatically changed all my dreams.
Of course. And I'm so sorry to hear this. But again, as you said that you had something in mind when you were coming here. So were you aware of the consequences? And I'm sure not, that you were not expecting that you would be in prison for 6 years or something?
No, definitely no. To be in prison for years, not even for years, to enter in prison here, I was not expecting that. Because a mere passenger like me to say I will finish in prison, that they will accuse me of driving a boat, I have never think about that. I have never think about that. because I see that I'm a regular passenger like the others. So I don't know how they made this mistake to come and arrest me, but I wasn't thinking about it.
So, but now, like when you are here and you are working, and do you feel safe now, or do you still feel that there is this threat of the police, maybe your surveillance around you?
No, for the police issue, I'm not scared of the police issue because since I'm an asylum seeker, so I have the documents that can protect my rights here. So
So you think you have rights now, or not really?
not full rights, because there's a document I'm still looking for that I don't get yet. This is just a 6-month document. At least whenever a police stop me, then I'm able to demonstrate it that I'm an asylum seeker. But the document really that I'm looking for, I have not yet get it.
And when you were in prison, were there any organizations that helped you to come out, or not really? You were alone at that time? And if there were any organizations, can you tell me who were those organizations or people that helped you?
Inside the prisons, there used to come volunteers, who will ask to see how best they can help you. But for me, the organization that really helped me is Porcoroso, Archie Palermo. Is the association that really helped me, because since I entered prison in 2015, then I started in contact with them in 2016. Then since from then, we kept in contact until my final year in prison, or that was in 2022. They really helped me, yeah.
So now that you have a job, do you feel any sort of discrimination from the employer, or like if they know that you are an asylum seeker, do you feel that they treat you differently? And again, are there any sort of barriers when it comes to finding a job maybe, or finding a new opportunity as a person of color maybe, and if not color, as you said, the being asylum seeker or something?
Honestly, here where I'm working right now here, I can say that I'm not facing any discrimination, from the employee side or from my co-workers. I'm not facing a thing like that. They really welcome me, and they are showing me, things that will really help me, or that will really improve my job skills. So I'm not facing any discrimination in my working place here.
And what about people? The community, maybe any resistance from the Italians maybe, or local people who are visiting here, the customers?
For racism, there is racism, yes, there is racism. Anywhere you go, you must find people who are good, you must find people who are bad. If we say Italians are racist, we are not talking about all of them, everyone. There are a few who are good, yeah, but the majority that will show you distance are many than the good ones. So basically, this will be a problem.
Okay, so I would like to conclude here, but I want to ask you that now, do you feel at peace, or do you feel that your struggles are being are you able to what are your expectations from future for yourself maybe, or for the people who are coming illegally maybe? Do you want to say anything just to conclude it?
For my advice for the people who are coming, or whosoever is attempting to embark on this illegal migration, my advice is that if you have anything better in your country, I advise you to keep pushing hard in your country. Keep doing it small. You will reach the level you are looking for. You will finally achieve your goals. It may be hard, you understand, but this concept that if I go to Europe, I'll find everything bright. I'll easily meet my goals. It's a scam. It's not like that. This was all our vision when we were there. Okay, if I go to Europe, I'll make it easily. I'll able to find my goals. Do this and that. But it's not like that. Immediately you reach here, what you will see here and what you were thinking is quite different. It's quite different. Paper issue alone will make you frustrated. Paper issue alone is a very, very, very big problem because there are stages that you have to cross. So my advice is for anyone who is willing to come, my advice is that if you have anything better, any better job over there, stay where you are and, continue struggling. One day you will reach your goals. Because Europe is not what you think. Yes.
And I'm sure I have seen you and other people I met at Santa Clara. They were very kind, they were very helpful, and they were very accepting for not even for the African community, but everyone. Like I felt like home where I used to come at Ramadan. And thank you so much for being so kind, and I wish you all the best for your journey.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Hello, Mohammed. I'm Hadia from Migration Rights. I'm a MIDI student, and today we are here to record your interview. And Haida is recording. And can you tell me, as I have told you, that it's for a podcast, and there are some set of questions we want to ask from you. And let's start. Okay, so can you please tell me a bit about yourself?
Yeah, I'm Mohammed from the Gambia, 24 years old, and I live in Palermo.
Okay. So my second question is that what motivated you and how old were you when you moved to Palermo or Europe maybe?
Yeah, I was 15 when I left the Gambia. No, I was 14 when I left the Gambia. I arrived here almost 16. So the journey takes me 1 year, some months. So and I left the Gambia because of many reasons. But one of the reasons why I left my country was because of poverty. My family was very poor, and even though my dad was a teacher, my mom also worked, but we couldn't live with the money that they earn. And the image of Europe that I was seeing, everything is perfect, like there was also a dictator, human rights, and things like that. So I said, I really want to go to Europe. So.
And so, did you come by legally or not?
No, I come through the in my country we call it back way.
Okay.
Back way road. So to many countries and through the desert, after through the Mediterranean Sea, and after I reach here.
And can you tell me a bit more about this, and what were the challenges, or maybe were you aware at that time about the consequences or not?
No, because I think what happens there, in some sense, yeah, because I know that people who are dying there, many people were dying there because in the neighborhood that I live in Gambia before, I know people that died through the route. But I don't know that it was this hard. I used to see email people die in the sea, people die, but I don't really know how hard it was. I don't know that you can walk on the street and somebody can shoot you, they can put you in prison, they will be beating you. There are so many things that happens during the route that I don't know about, but I know that people die. Even when I leave my country, I don't tell my parents that I was going, because I know that they will not accept it, because they know that it's very dangerous. But the danger was 1,000 times more than what I was thinking, and I was young, so
too young. You were a child basically. So what were the psychological or physical barriers at that time when you were moving? So can you tell me a bit about it?
There are a lot of barriers, but I think language, every country that I was in before, you don't know how to speak with the people of the place, and the desert, the traffickers, and European countries, because when I arrived in Niger, there was the European military, there. So in the desert, to cross the desert, they will be following cars, taking them back, and so for that reason, our driver dropped us inside the desert because somebody told him that there were French soldiers at the other part of the desert. So these are one of the barriers, because I think that like the more they try to stop people's to come to the road, like the more you are more in danger because you have to hide. So the more there is these traffickers, bad traffickers involved, and the more people risk their life. So I think these are one of the barriers. But like I was not having enough money, so in some places I had to walk. Some places like there were many barriers, but these were one of, because not having enough money, not even though you are having enough money, sometimes they will kidnap you and things like that. So yeah.
So, have you gained the documents now? Are you officially an Italian citizen? And if yes, who were the organization or people that have helped you? Can you tell me a little bit about them?
No, I don't have the Italian citizenship, but I have documents, permesso di soggiorno. But yeah, like for me, I have always fight alone. Like there's no organization that can. Yeah, when I arrived, they put me in a community center because I was a minor, so I was there till 18. But after that, like I was going to the high school when I left the community center after 18 years. So I was working and going to high school, and I did 4 years. And after that, I started university. So I have done everything alone. I always work with other organizations to help my brothers, but like for me, like sometimes it's very difficult also for me to take my problem to others, because like I'm always like I have to be strong. And so like when I arrived, like the community center helped me to get the first document, but after everything, I have always done it alone. Yeah.
So I'm a bit emotional now, but again, yes, I mean you have, but now you are helping other people, and even Malduza, the organization you are working with. And so my next question is that now, once you are here and you have been helping a lot of people, do you feel accepted now, or is it like a struggle? Or if you are like, even if you feel accepted, do you still face maybe challenges in terms of job opportunities, or maybe if not job opportunities, because I think more than 10 years now you have been living in Italy, right? Almost 10 years. So do you feel accepted by the people, maybe the common people? Or maybe if not the common people, let's say about the people who are your employers, do you feel that you are accepted or not? Can you tell a bit about it?
Yeah, I think acceptance is so difficult. Like there are some people that like make you feel accepted, and I think that like for today, for me, I have passed that level, because I don't care anymore. Like I have really, when I arrived, I have really struggled with people accepting me. So like when I was going to the high school, like I was trying to be friends with my colleague, like with my classmates, and it was so difficult for me. So at a certain point, I said, like, I don't care anymore. Like I have to try and reconnect to my brothers, and so I tried to start finding communities. But I think that like, yeah, for where I work for, because I work for an organization called Intersource, so it's a big Italian organization. So like people that work there have open-minded, and sometimes I feel accepted by some people's, by some people's no. So like it's something that is a continuous struggle. But like for me today, I don't really care that much. But yeah, like so many times I feel discriminated in so many places, you know.
And not only just with community, not only just with organizations, also with communities, you feel resistance or the idea of being equal to them, right?
Yeah, like even for the reason of being many times being like the police would just be in via Maqueda, and every colorful pass in that pass, they will stop you. And every time I ask them, why are you stopping only colorful people? They said, like, because Italians have document. But there are many tourists here, like, because they are white, you don't stop them. So, like, all these kind of things, like, I love Palermo, but these kind of things make me feel like, yeah, still, like, but even people born here, like, they always feel like, I feel racialized always. But not only in there, because, like, even in the hospital that, like, I'm doing internship in the hospital since the first year, but always I feel like they like see me as like different. Some people will just like even to do my job, like, because I know how to do it, and like some patient will treat me differently, will say, you will not do it. Like with me, I always see some different. So like those are things
being
that
discriminated, right?
Yeah, being discriminated kind of is because
of your color, because people don't know about the
because they
documents
think that
whether you have the original documents or the documents or not. So it could be because of your color, right?
Yeah, because like even with the nurses, even though that they know that he can do this thing, but like they will not trust me, Like with other students, with my colleagues, I used to see that, like, even though you have to take a blood from somebody, they will just leave you, go and take that blood. But with me, they must come with me. Some patient will say, no, he will not touch me, Even though, like, with my colleagues that we are doing that, I know that I'm more good than them, and everybody knows that. But, like, some patient will be, so those are kind of things,
But that's from the patients, right? What about your employers, your boss? Like, do they also treat you differently or not?
Yeah, that's why, like, it's an internship, but always like when it's time to do things, and in the first year, because I'm in the third year, in the first year when we started the internship, like I was the first one who learned first how to do things. But later on, they will trust others, leave them like when they have to do things because it's not a job, it's an internship. But for 3 years, I'm doing it. So like the last year, I know how to do it. But like they still, I feel like they don't trust me because I'm black, because like, yeah, I'm a migrant. So like they're not used to see many migrants in those places. So like they're always like, we must follow you. Even a small thing, like they must verify whether what I do is done, like is correct or not, So like after visiting after the day, like we should write a report what happened during the day. So when writing the report, always it's like they must come and look, verify everything. With my colleagues, no, there's no problem. But with me, like they are all these kind of things. So they're not directly like insult, like, but like they are like shows me that like they all have that mentality that like I'm different, so I'm incapable because I'm black.
Okay, so my last question is that what are your expectations about this whole idea of someone coming from different, maybe without documents or people of color, and now like you have mentioned a lot of things that it's very hard for me to comprehend. Like even I used to think that my struggles are too much, even though I came with the legal documents obviously and getting the visa, etc. So do you now feel that your rights are being protected or not? Or maybe anything you want to, like, for the conclusion, or maybe to sum up anything you want to say regarding the resistance, or how actively the communities or maybe the organizations should actually help people instead of just being there on the paper?
Yeah, I think that's like, I think my rights are not respected, but I think that like it's a fight that I must do, what we must do. That's why like I think like we must always try to resist, because like it's like we gonna leave a system, like even the people dying in the sea, and I 100% know that if they were blinded children dying in the sea, they will not let them die there. So but like even here, like even people taken to the ship here, and many of my brothers here, they get many different problems, but like there will not be people defending them, like always like, even the organization, I think they always come to do something about things when the extreme happen. When they kill someone, like, because in Palermo, almost every year, like 1 year ago, a Gambian guy was killed here in Balaro, like, and still we don't know nothing about it. Like, the police tell us, like, the thing will be out. With, like, the camera that was there where the boy was killed, they don't know about the camera. The camera was not working, and it was a police camera. And still we don't know who, and they kill him in front of so many people, but nobody comes out to testify. So these are one of the things that, like, make me feel like my rights are not respected. Some rights are respected, but most of my rights are not respected. And because, like, there are many people also that don't have document, and for them even to go to get cured, like, I know a Ghanaian man 1 week ago who died for cancer because he was having cancer, but he was not having document. So whenever he was feeling bad, he go to the, like, to the I don't know, to the emergency. Yeah. So, like, they will do they will do, like, they will give him some medicine. They will say it's okay. But, like, if you don't, like, have document, you should have access to go and treat yourself. But if you don't have document, you cannot go and do a visiting to know what is happening inside you is a big problem. So, like, those are one of the things that make me think that, like, my rights are not respected. But I think that, the organizations have to do big jobs, like, they should, like,
Maybe more actively.
and more, like, including more racialized peoples, inside their organization, working with them, I think is so important, because, like, if not, I think, like, it will be very difficult, because, like, you cannot know what I live, and for me personally, I think that if you talk for me without me, it's like you talk for me without me, it's like you are talking for yourself, like, because you are not doing for me. So you should first listen to my problems, and you should try to fight with me, not you giving me space to talk, like, even advocacy, you can do advocacy for me, but together.
Yes.
Not like when you decided, like, I will give you this space, you can come and talk. So yeah.
Yes, no, definitely. And I think from now on, I never thought that I knew a few things, but now it's really hard for me to comprehend. It's too much of information. But thank you for your time, and I hope that we can all actively contribute something. Yes, thank you so much.
Yeah. Thanks.
Which brings us to the second segment of the discussion with David on the idea of sanctuary cities and other local network organizations that helps the integration of undocumented immigrants into the society. David, how does this model support undocumented people, and where does Palermo stand, particularly the activities of resistance network movements?
Yeah, great question. Sanctuary cities aim to limit cooperation with national immigration enforcement and offer migrants some security and dignity at the local level. In Palermo, this has meant initiatives like refusing to apply Salvini's anti-immigrant security laws, continuing to register migrants locally, and offering services like healthcare or education regardless of the status. Palermo's former mayor, Leoluca Orlando, in 2015, pushed the radical idea that mobility is a human right, not a crime. These efforts are symbolic, but they also bring a real changes to people's lives. In 2015, Orlando also promoted the Palermo Charter, Carta di Palermo in Italian, a document that proposed the abolition of residence permit and the recognition of international mobility as an inalienable human right. This document aimed to transform the perception of migration from suffering to a fundamental right, emphasizing the importance of integration and active participation of migrants in city life. The Charter calls for a greater connection between citizenship and residence in the country, with particular reference to participation in the political and social life of the country. One of the symbols of the Charter is this sentence: "We need to change our approach from migration precisely as suffering to mobility as a right." No human being has chosen or chooses the place where they are born. So everyone must be recognized with the right to choose the place where they live, to live better and not die. Under Orlando's leadership, Palermo has implemented also several initiatives to facilitate the integration of migrants. For example, the Consulta delle Culture was established, a representative body that allows foreign citizens to participate actively in the political life of the city, regardless of their legal status. The initiative has promoted greater inclusion and given voice to the diverse communities present in the urban fabric. The Consulta, composed of 21 members, represent different geographical areas for the world: Asia, Africa, Americas, Oceania, and countries of the Council of Europe. It asks to promote integration and intercultural dialogue, inform and support foreigners on regulations relating to residence, work, education, assistance, and access to public services. Representation in the assembly provides for a significant balance of gender and geographical origin.
David, we hope this can be a concrete help. But what are the real lights and shadows of sanctuary cities? And which organizations work in the territory concretely? I have heard about Maldusa.
Yeah, you heard right. Unfortunately, migration represents much more than a geographical move for millions of people worldwide. It's a complex journey full of expectations, hope, fears, and traumas. For those who choose or are forced to leave their country, crossing a border is not just a physical challenge, but a psychological and bureaucratic path that is often long, exhausting, and oppressive. Among the many difficulties that migrants face, one of the most burdensome is for sure bureaucracy. Obtaining a residence permit or the regularization of one's presence in another country, in fact, involves a series of administrative obstacles that can seem, and often are, insurmountable. Migrants find themselves having to navigate required documents, translations, complex procedures, appointments, forms, and legal regulation that change from city to city, from state to state also. Added to this is a bureaucratic language that it's difficult to understand, especially for those who have not yet mastered the local language. It's in this context that the also called sanctuary cities emerge. These cities are cities that, in a more or less explicit way, as we saw before, oppose restrictive national immigration policies, offering protection and support to migrants and refugees. These cities have tried to build a local barrier against national laws perceived as just unjust or inhuman, limiting cooperation with federal authorities on immigration and guaranteeing access to fundamental service like healthcare, education, and legal assistance. However, despite these positive intentions, sanctuary cities are not without contradiction. Jennifer Bagelman, in her book Sanctuary Cities, A Suspended State, critically reflects on this concept. According to the author, these cities, while declaring themselves welcoming, risk creating a state of temporary and bureaucratic suspension for migrants. This protection offered... The protection offered is often provisional, uncertain, linked to local policies that can change rapidly with the alternation of the administrations. This leaves migrants in a kind of limbo, not expelled but not fully recognized either, forced to live in a state of indefinite waiting. In Palermo, resistance network organization like Maldusa operates as part of a dynamic ecosystem of solidarity movements in Palermo, where it actively engages with grassroots groups, NGOs, and civil society organizations to create a united front against restrictive immigration policies. One of its key partnerships is with Arci Palermo, Associazione Ricreativa e Culturale in Italian, a long-established social association that promotes the rights of migrants through cultural inclusion, legal assistance, and public advocacy. By aligning this with organizations like this, like Arci, Maldusa strengthened its capacity to offer undocumented migrants a web of services, ranging from legal counseling to shelter and language interpretation. Maldusa also collaborates with Borderline Sicilia, a watchdog group that monitors human rights abuses and immigration policy impacts across the Sicily. This synergy amplifies resistance narratives and ensures that the lived experience of migrants are documented and communicated to the broader public. Beyond Palermo, Maldusa is a part of broader resistance network across Italy and Europe. It maintains ties with movements such as Mediterranean Saving Humans, a sea rescue initiative turned political network that actively challenges EU border enforcement practices. Through joint campaigns, public demonstrations, and media advocacy, Maldusa and its allies contest the criminalization of solidarity and push for human migration policies. Furthermore, Maldusa connects with Recommon, an environmental and social justice organization, to explore the intersection of climate displacement and migration. This collaboration not only enhances Maldusa's strategic positioning, but also enable resource and knowledge sharing across borders, making their resistance efforts more informed and impactful.
Okay, Maldosa, it's a center whereby helping people that migrate from their homeland to another, to Italy. Maldosa is a place whereby they open their arms for every people who need help. They are not even in Palermo, they are also in Lampedusa. They had the project of Maldosa is really bit quite wide though. But the main base of Maldosa is in Lampedusa, whereby it's a group of people that they help migrants in any circumstances, in any situation. So they open their arms for any immigrant entering Italy.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Maldusa as an organization is more of an organization that involved in the fight to help undocumented immigrants.
Yes.
Okay. What are the main bureaucratic barriers that these immigrants faces that Maldusa helps them to recognize?
Okay, the first thing, if you arrive in Italy, before they were having their boat, but right now the boat is not existing. It's NGO. Maldosa is not working from an NGO boat, whereby they were volunteers, operation, they rescue people in the Mediterranean Sea. They help so many people to arrive to Italy, in sense of in time of the migrants when they take the boat, when they arrive Italy, they also have chronon person that communication with phone call with the people who are at the Mediterranean Sea to rescue them. Okay, the base, like I said earlier, the base is in Lampedusa, but also they open the new place also here in Palermo, in Sicily.
Okay. But is there any barriers, bureaucratic barriers that most of these migrants are affected with? The barriers, the laws.
Yeah, there are a lot of barriers. If we can tell you the barriers of migration here, it will be never end. Our conversation will be taking throughout the whole day, because the problem is the system is very poor, because they criminalize migration. So they criminalize it. So many people they don't have their human rights. They abuse their human rights. So the problem is that when they arrive in Italy, probably some people they take them in a place whereby no good situation. They have a lot of obstacles when they arrive anyway, because they just look at someone who's from another part of the world. You don't have no access to migrate, and migration is a freedom of movement. It's 200 years ago is where there were Italians who moved from Italy to America. It's all the same. So there is no it's a fundamental right for every human being. Okay. But they criminalize it. But we are group organization like Maldosa, they always fight for it and also help the people that they don't feel that they should be criminalized. They should be feel home and follow the due process like to have their statistics of documents, also like to have their protection, also to show them like what to do so that they can have their like asylum, their asylum status should be, and what they should answer or not. So people like this organization like Maldosa, they help a lot like migrants, like how to integrate in Italy, also in school, and also in creating school, to make them to integrate in Europe anyway.
Yeah, so the work that you mentioned that Maldosa does, it seems it's a very complex work.
Exactly.
So do you have any network organization that you work with in fighting for the rights of the migrants?
There are so many like Parcoroso. There are also so many organizations in Palermo here. They really fight about, like in Sicily, we have so many people also that show us love. Even though no matter why the system is poor, the system is very, very poor, because like the policy of the government is like they always use migration to achieve what they deserve. Like they just blackmail their people to show them like migration is our problem. That's why we are in this kind of situation. Instead of like their organization here, they always fight for that, not showing like the people that the citizens that this is not the truth. These politicians, they are using us like to make us like to against these people, and this is not real. You have to go to close to them and know what is their problem. Why the cause of them to migrate from their country? Because any person have his own reason. Some people migrate because of their war. Who crossed that war is the system of the European Union.
Okay, so like this question will be like, what are some of the rights that undocumented migrants, like the rights that they should enjoy?
Yeah.
For example, maybe the right to health. Is there some restriction that being undocumented they are not given proper care of?
in Italy here, like if you don't have like a document they call citre, it's the starting of your like process to have your document. If you don't have citre, like you don't have access to nowhere. You don't have access to doctor. You don't have access to bank. You don't have like, you are like just a human being dumped in a place whereby like you are nothing. So unless if you have citre, from there you will start your your status, like to ask your asylum. By that time, Italian government, they accept your asylum. So from there they will take you to the immigration to make a fingerprint. So from the fingerprint they will give you this document called citre. Okay. So this citre it is the document who start all your process to have like access to doctor. You have to go to from this citre, then they will give you a commission date. But it's not that fast though. You have to wait from the camp, bad situation in the camp. You have to live in a difficult life system like a prison. Like some people, they just arrive here, they just put them in the prison without asking them, without knowing nothing. Because they just criminalize you because of your freedom of movement, they just criminalize you. So like it's also a problem also to health if you arrive here. Like if you arrive here your first month, they can give you a doctor, but not a good doctor, like quality doctor. They will give you like Red Cross. They are the people who are giving you medication, and etc.
Okay, and lastly, like what are the challenges that is faced by Maldosa, and then like also, do you remain hopeful that someday in the near future things will change?
Of course, I think like organization like Maldosa, I think also, and now things are different. Like organization like Maldosa, so many people are coming close to Maldosa, and we have so many projects. Like we regards the Paifal in Palermo, we have so many projects whereby we invite Italian people who like before they were afraid of black people. Now we organize an event that we call them to come and listen to us and know our problem, and we live here. We have to respect the law and the rules and the law of this land. We are not the people who will like against the law, because if you are living here, you have to respect the law. You have to accept what they deny. You have to have access to the education. You have to put yourself in a good in a good context that you have to achieve a better life. Like organizations like Mendoza, they help people. They help people who are like they're desperate in their life, because some people they feel like they are lonely. Like there is no one to listen to them. So if like a group like Mendoza, they give you their ears, they give you their arms, they give you their support. Whatever they have, they share with you. So like the group like Mendoza's, they are amazing people that they can do. Like some people, they will learn a lot from Mendoza. Some organizations, they will also learn a lot from Mendoza. So from here, there are so many people that are from outside, from prison. Like 1 year prison, they don't even know why they are in prison. There is no access to lawyer. Like a lawyer, they will give you a lawyer that will see you only for once in a year. So that is a systematic problem. So we are all working for that to change that kind of problem, because we like some people, they finish almost recently. One of our brother, he just finished at work. They just take him in GPR. GPR is a place whereby it's like deportees come in Trapani. At this moment, when they catch you, they take you to GPR straight away in the deportees camp without telling you nothing. Like they just see you without document. They just see you from work. Without nothing, they take you to GPR. So at this moment, we are living in this situation. So people like Mendoza, we are always fighting for this. Like say no to GPR, no to deportees, because you don't know why he risks his life to take this meritocracy.
Okay. Thank you. This is the end of the interview, and then we recommend your organization to keep up the good work, because you are the voice of the voiceless. Thank you.
Thank you too. Also, thank you guys a lot.
Thank you, David, for bringing these truths to light. We have heard today how cities like Palermo can act as islands of resistance, offering temporary sanctuary in a world of closed borders. But we have also seen how bureaucracy can betray that promise, leaving migrants in limbo. The sanctuary city model holds power, but it must evolve from protection to full inclusion, from documents to dignity. And that is exactly where network organizations like Mendoza and Ake Palermo comes into play. This has been Voices Without Documents, Stories of Resistance and Acceptance. I'm your host, Suleiman, and today joining me are Umar, Zoya, Hadia, Haida, and David. We thank you for listening, and until next time, stay aware, stay engaged, and remember, every voice matters, documented or not.